Hello, hello, hello. This is Tom from Tom and Ruth Philippine Adventures. Today I want to talk about, I had a question asked to me, what about wells? What's the status on wells? Wells being dug and dug in the area, what's the rules, regulations? Each area is different. In Manila, they're not really doing, well, let me say this. You have to check with the water department and pull a permit before you do, and you have to have a licensed person to do your well. Luzon, I'm not really sure about. You'll have to check with your water department. Here, where we're at in Mindanao, you do have to check and make sure you're authorized. Here's an example. I dug a well, and went down about. We get our water table here. It's only about 3-4 feet, and so they always say, add 50, 80 feet to the top of that, then you got drinking water. Well, I figured, 120, 150 feet had drinking water. Well, before I started doing it, I said, let's do a test. So we did a test, and we tested it, and I said, it seems like there's a lot of impurities in that water. We should maybe go down a little more and let it settle. I mean, what's the deal with that? So, anyway, long story short, what happens, especially where I'm at, I live up kind of we're on an incline on a mountain, and the water table, even though it's low, we're in probably a low-lying area here in Mindanao. The thing about it is a lot of pesticides, in the water. The chemical trace said that there's some DDT, so you really don't want to touch that. Now, as you know, people that, you want to be self-sufficient, right? And people that have water, there's many ways you can get water. It rains here. Well, in the last week, I bet I got 100 inches of rain. But there's many ways you can actually trap your own water, put your own rain setup on your roof of your house. There's many ways you can filter that water. There's many ways you can actually take that water. You may not be able to use drinking water with it. In fact, I would not personally drink any water here unless it went through some type of filtration system. And I'm talking a filtration system, not talking throwing it through a little filter or something. I'm talking a filtration system that you filter it and then boil it. As you guys know, I got typhoid and I got it from the water. But the thing here is that's very important is there's a lot of farmlands where I live, and there's the mountains. They have it on the side of the mountains. They have it everywhere. There's land that's available. There's farm, and there's corn and anything. I mean, anything and everything. And even heading to some parts to Davao, same situation. And my friend in CDO said that he had the same thing. He was going to do a well, had it tested, and it had high trace amounts of pesticide chemical in it from pesticides for runoff. So he said, no way, Jose, am I putting that on, even on your body. You don't want that to be something that you even would have on your body when taking a shower. So I talked to him and told him what I was doing. What I did, as you guys know, I did a filtration system. We just run water. I don't have to anymore, but I run water into a barrel and we filter it because it rains so much here. In fact, it's getting ready to rain here probably about 30-40 minutes. The mountain's clear, but it's no rain there. Well, I can always tell if it's going to rain. That mountain right there. So I happened to think, I said, well, we'll trap our water. We can put fresh water in a barrel and just treat it and have water. Fresh water meaning water come from the city. Now, we had that tested, and it came out fine. It's perfect. There's no worries. And the only thing they don't do here, they do not put fluoride into their water here, which is fine. You manage. But I don't drink the water anyway till this day. Right across the street, right over here is a water filtration system set up, and I can get my water from there. What I normally do is buy filtered water and then I boil it. Or if I don't, I just take the irrigated water and boil it, and I've been using that for probably the last year, something like that. And it seems to be doing okay. It's like anything else, You just have to watch what you eat and have to watch what you drink, meaning the liquids. If it's juice or something like that, was that treated with what ice cubes are in it? Is it treated water, non-treated water? What kind of water is it? So you have to really take a look at that. I know for me, I really do look at that. That's kind of a scary thing. So a deep well for here, you can do a deep well. I personally, if you're just going to use it for irrigation, or you're going to use it for, okay, you want to just take a shower, you can. If you're going to use something like that, that's fine. But if you're going to use it for anything other than that, I personally would not. Now, a lot of people are actually digging a lot of wells. A couple of companies got caught digging wells without the permits. They closed them down. They actually shut them down. I know Pepsi-Cola had a suit where they had to shut off hundreds of wells, where they had some deep wells that they actually did. Now, you have to really do your due diligence and get you a licensed contractor, and honestly check with the water department before you do anything like that anyway. And they could recommend a licensed contractor for you. That's the route that we kind of did, but we have enough family around, we kind of know. So I was going to use the well for many different reasons, and I decided against it. So since we get so much rain, and we keep barrels of water, barrels meaning, here, just have a barrel like that. I don't have any more water than that other than what I have inside the house, which I have one half that size, it holds about 30 liter. And in the other house, I don't have any backup of water there other than whatever. But we find that water is not really an issue here because, as you know, it rains enough, you can trap enough water to do the need that you need. So for us, that's a big question. I personally would really take a look at it. It's the chemical thing that really bothered me the most. It was really the chemicals that's in the water. They found other, what do they call it? Unrecognized chemical. I don't know what that means. That means chemical that maybe the machine would not even know what that would be. Unrecognized chemical. What they do, like for here, they'll treat this field, right? And they'll put pesticide on there, and they'll put rat killer on there, and then they'll put a weed killer on there. And then they'll do their thing. Then when the crop comes, they do what they call, they'll clear it off, and they put more weed killer and the stuff back on there again. So when it rains, where does that go, right? And that's what really concerned me the most, because I'm surrounded by the farms. Now, I have a friend who lives in Bohol, and he found the same. He dug for a well and he had it treated. Had it tested and took it into the water department and found where he was living, it was not really a good thing for him to have well water. There are many people that have it. I would make sure to pull a permit before you do it. Don't get caught without it because they'll shut it down. Make sure you do your due diligence on it. In some cases, they require arm and a leg. I mean, you got to get an attorney involved in it, things like that to dig a well. Some people say just go dig a well and don't worry about it. Well, you can. Most people do that. They just dig a well, don't worry about it. But this question has been asked a couple times before, and so I decided to do a video about it today because people have been asking me about the wells and how I'm handling the water situation. Water for me is okay. I don't really have a problem with it. Water's pretty good. I just decided, so what we did, my well is no longer a well. It's covered back up. It's a little mound there of dirt. We covered it back up, took the dirt, filled it back in. I said I don't need a well. I decided not to be around that. Now, our neighbor over here has a well. They have a well, and I don't think they do here. But many wells around us, even if you go down 100, 200 feet, 300 feet, 400 feet, according to the water department where we're at here locally, okay, this I'm only talking where I'm at here. I have no idea what goes on anywhere else. The way water's been run so fast off the top of those mountains, you know, it can carry a car in about 5 seconds, and it can carry it many kilometers. In fact, they have a lot of that happens here when it rains hard. You may find your car, if it's in an area, you may be flooded. and it could be moved by the flood waters. They had to repair a big place in town where Ruth's sister lives, where it actually washed out the whole bridge and everything. And it's probably about 40 feet, 50 feet down to the water. So you can imagine that water coming down off that mountain. And now it washed out, and it was probably about 60 feet across as that bridge. Just took it out like a piece of paper, like it was nothing. And there's all kinds of, houses and things like that in there. Personal belongings where people were, I guess, they just where it came from. But they repaired it and they dug it deeper and put a better, stronger bridge there, which I don't think you could, but they did. And because a bridge, depending on the pylons, they'll have so many feet across. It's like a pylon every 2 feet, 3 feet to make sure they stand, and they dug down as far as they could. So it took them 6 months to do that bridge too, and that's working every day. But that's the thing for me. When it rains hard, and it comes down off the mountains very fast here because we're in a mountainous area, and I just don't trust the pesticides. I don't trust any of that. So that's my answer to that. So if anybody's thinking about it, just make sure you do due diligence. Get with the water department. Have them tell you what the status. Now, I got a report on this water. It's good. It's good. Now, they break lines and everything else, and lines break and people cut them by accident because they're digging for whatever. And you have that from time to time. But in town, my water was out usually about. Did not have water from 8 in the morning till about 7 at night, every day, and it was a problem. And I said, how could it be a problem? We're in the Philippines and all the water that we have. I mean, there was days where days, including 24-hour periods, where we couldn't have any water at all. So we learned how to figure that out. And I said, when I build my house, I'm going to make sure that I have enough water that I don't have to worry about it. So that's when I took again a couple of these barrels and decided to make my own setup. But the water is enough out here. I don't have to worry about it. If water is out for 2, 3, 4 days, I have enough supply. I can supply showers, food, anything else. If I needed to make it 5 days, I could. Any longer than that would be hard for me to do. But like I said, there's a water filtration system. It has 5. I think he said there's 5 400-gallon containers in there. That if it runs short, he'd put me 50 or 80 gallon into a container if something does happen. So it's owned by American. So I wouldn't have to worry. So if water's out for a few days, but as you know, it rains here. Now you're going through the dry season. It's not going to rain every day. You'll get rain about once every 2 to 3 weeks if you're lucky sometimes. But now it's been raining since March every day. So, and of course, we got 2 more typhoons coming in. You're in typhoon season, you'll get more than that. So we're running through a heavy time with that. So I just kind of want to go over that real quick. Sorry for rambling on, but, excuse the trash. We cut a tree, we put an antenna up, and we cut a tree and we trimmed up a lot of branches. I cut some banana down, just been kind of clean up the yard. You have to constantly do that here because things grow so fast. So, God bless. Thank you so much. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. You can see this right here. Look at this. I just cut this off. Look how it's growing branches again. See that? We cut it even. Look, there's more branches coming off of this. This just spurred off. Look at that. I think there's some jackfruit in there. Not jackfruit. What is that fruit? I forget. I forget what that fruit is. All right. God bless. Thank you.